the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk about something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the black father in the home to protect his wife and family.
Now, this is a trigger warning. All right, this is a trigger warning, ladies and gentlemen. The story Joy Reid is about to share with this deranged knucklehead that said life was better for black folks under Jim Crow is a story about a father who had to live during this time, and unfortunately, he was suffering. Listen to this story. Trigger warning.
In 1943, in the state that you represent in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his co-workers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush.
So this child sent Christmas cards, all right? And he sent it to a white woman. He's 15 years old in Florida. And because he sent a Christmas card to this white woman, they rained down, and when I say they, these white supremacists rained terror on this black family. This is during Jim Crow.
Expressed hope that white people would someday like black people and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie. Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work.
So they dragged him away and they kidnapped his father. These white supremacists did that. All right? And this wasn't thousands of years ago, all right? This is maybe a century ago, or actually 50-something years ago. So when they get out here and they try to act like, oh, racism isn't going on, I want you to always remember, no. This is still fresh meat. Listen up.
Drove the two Howards, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint.
Do you hear what these white supremacists did during Jim Crow to the black father and his son, Byron? They kidnapped him, tied him up, took him to the edge of the bank and said, either you jump in or we're going to pew-pew you, and made his father watch. And you Trump supporters wonder why we call you racist. You crying on TikTok. These ladies, oh, Zeus, your platform is causing me so much harm. No, what's causing harm is your rhetoric. It's you evoking that spirit of racism on TikTok, trying to make it look like all black men are somehow terrorists, criminals, while you openly endorse one and terrorize us. See, the real truth is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And Byron Donalds, I blame folks like you for allowing them to think it's acceptable to do.
That body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing?
And I'll just go ahead and skip past that part and say this. He still doubled down on being deranged, ladies and gentlemen. And we're just going to fast forward to the last part of this interview. And this is where Joy Reid, I will honestly say, she cooked this brother on national television. All right. And listen to how this interview ended, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe this. When I watched this, I said, Lord, please, Lord, get this brother and deliver him ASAP. Listen to what happened.
Last
Creates better people.
Last question,
and
then I'm going to let you go. Last question, we're out of time, but I'm going to give you one more question. During Jim Crow, could your family have existed? You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
So she's asking this brother, during Jim Crow, could your relationship existed? She just read him a story about a young black man writing a white woman a Christmas card and telling him that boy, 15, ended up unalived. Now, Byron, could the relationship you're currently in, could that exist during Jim Crow? Could you imagine yourself sitting at home with your white wife, Byron, during Jim Crow? Listen to this. Last
question.
Last question,
and then I'm going to let you go. Last question, we're out of time, but I'm going to give you one more question. During Jim Crow, could your family have existed? You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
No, it could not, Joy, and we all know that. But that's why I am blessed to live in America today as opposed to America during that time. But we cannot ignore the realities of not having fathers in homes.
I'm done with him. I'm done. Thank you, Joy. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Byron Deranged Donalds what he deserves. Because we caught you, champ. We caught you. Wow. Now you got to walk around knowing, we all know you're sleeping with a white woman, but out here promoting Jim Crow. Makes absolutely no sense. You are literally a walking contradiction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give deranged Byron Donalds what he deserves, who doesn't know his history clearly. Around the booze and shame. This is some sick stuff. Some sick stuff.
You never demon.
Sick stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You know what he didn't do? Thank God the Democrats helped get those civil rights passed, Byron Donalds, so you could enjoy that little relationship you're in. What a disgrace to this country you are. I just can't believe anything like this, all right? And so we're going to go ahead and put that in the history books, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's move on to holding MAGA's feet to the fire. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I see there's some dissension in my comment section. Maybe you didn't catch what I said at the top of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Yeah.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can.
Let me ask a question. How many, if you believe Trump supporters, MAGA is the party of racism, could you please put a 1 in the chat, please? If you believe MAGA is the party of racism, because what I don't want to do is say things that I don't think are true. But if you really believe MAGA is racist, please put a 1 in the chat, because there's some Trump supporters in here and they're trying to make it seem like the Democrats are the racist one. But put a 1 in the chat if you believe MAGA is racist. Look at that. We're well over. Look at this, man. Look at that. We got 1,000 or so folks in here. Over 200 folks. Oh my gosh, that's 20% right there. Look at all these people in the party. Look at all these people in the live that know. I don't even think it's believed. Look at all these people that are in this live that believe MAGA is racist. Let me ask another question. Put a 1 in the chat. Look, we're at almost 500. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Donald Trump is racist. Put a 1 in the chat. Look at, just keep putting the 1s. So, to you Trump supporters, I know this hurts you, but you got to live with the results. This is a fair live, right? I'm not out here. This isn't a rigged live. This is real people that are in the country. They're listening to this broadcast, all right? And they see the impact we're having, and they're helping. They're helping by helping you understand. You are in the party of racism. So all the smoke about racism is coming your way, all right? And I promise you, between the issues around racism and what you're doing to women all across this country by taking away their rights and their freedoms, I promise you, MAGA, this November, like they say, it'll be too real to steal and too big to rig. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you all deserve a round of applause. Thank you for helping me get the point across. Right? Jesus Christ. Listen, I went a little too far. All right, I did. I know I went a little too far in that. But you know what? I'm going to do a couple of more and then round the corner by opening up the boxes and having a conversation about whatever it is, right? You know how we do. I just want to call this out. Donald Trump supporters were arrested in New York City for unveiling a massive flag. All right. Donald Trump supporters seem to have turned more aggressive following his hush money trial verdict. And I can tell you it's true. Ever since Donald Trump has been found guilty, I personally have been under assault more than I've ever been on this app. Why? Why have they been coming after Zeus? Why have they been what I call, it's really slandering my name, right? Should I file a lawsuit? I mean, because listen, we get it. You're upset. But if you would have listened to us a long time ago, you wouldn't be in this situation. On June 6th, the cult group raised an enormous, huge Law and Order flag outside of Trump Tower in New York City, but got arrested by the police department shortly after the video was uploaded online. All right, this is what people are saying. The police aren't afraid of Trump supporters. They're also saying, so weird how the people on our side always seem to get arrested. They're trying to make themselves sound like victims. The double standards are off the charts these days. The irony of this particular demonstration is just too much. Law and Order flag for a guy that calls people to assault cops, political prisoners. That's convicted of 34 felonies and on bail in 3 jurisdictions. A man found liable of fraud multiple times. It's just crazy. It's crazy that you Trump supporters want to get out here on the internet. I'm going to call the cops. This is what they say. I'm calling the cops. But then we turn on the TV and we see you beating up the cops. And then you cry and talk about black on black crime. I don't want to hear about black on black crime. I want to talk about MAGA on MAGA crime, right? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving these deranged Trump supporters what they deserve, all right? Because they know they're the worst of the worst. Let's give them another round of boos and shame. Right, April?
You MAGA demon!
All right, now, there's another, I'm so sorry, but we got to listen to Donald Trump a little bit more. Yesterday, Dr. Phil put out an interview with Donald Trump. I don't know if any of you saw it, but as far as I'm concerned, it was a total disaster. You know, when they interviewed Donald Trump, I would love to interview Donald Trump directly, because these questions that they ask him during his interviews, the way they try to guide him and help him look like he's really contained. Look at this guy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, during an interview with Dr. Phil. All right. And Dr. Phil claims he was trying to get Donald Trump to stop talking about retribution. All right. And he failed miserably. All right. And he's trying to also say, oh, well, you know, he didn't have a fair trial. Donald Trump had the fairest trial known to mankind. All right. But let's talk about the interview, if you don't mind. He went on to CNN, obviously, and he wanted to defend what he did during that interview. Television star sat down with the 45th president to discuss a range of topics, and then he appeared on CNN with Abby Filler. But gnawing at him was one constraint, that defendant Trump didn't get a fair shake in the New York trial. I'm sympathetic to what Trump has gone through in this particular trial. I think it was not proper due process for him, he said. I would say the same thing a bit if President Biden or anyone else was in the process. Let's listen to what Dr. Phil said on CNN yesterday, ladies and gentlemen.
Indict the unselect J6 committee. And joining me now, Dr. Phil, whose interview with the former president just aired. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. You're clearly sympathetic to Trump, but you believe that he should drop this talk of revenge. Did he commit to not pursuing that if he was elected president?
Did he?
Well, first off, I'm sympathetic to what Trump has gone through in this particular trial, because I think it was not proper due process for him I would say the same thing if it was Biden or anyone else in that process. So I want to be clear on that.
Would you mind telling us, tell us why you think he didn't get due process? I mean, the proceedings, we had reporters in there, I was there for a lot of it.
Right.
There was a judge and he adjudicated a lot of these questions. Why do you think he wasn't given a fair process?
Well, I think it's a number of things. I think from a jury standpoint, and again, let me be clear, I'm not a lawyer. I look at it in terms of what the jury was given to solve this puzzle. And I think they heard some things that were very prejudicial that had nothing to do with solving the problem of the case at hand. I think there are some things that are considered black letter law or hornbook law that's just really not something that is controversial at all that was violated. I think you don't have someone that is considered to be an accomplice in a crime that has pled out or made a non-prosecution agreement and allow that information into the jury's awareness because it's very
Okay, Dr. Phil.
Who are accomplices to crimes, people who have taken plea deals, non-prosecute. That is not uncommon at all for those people to then testify in subsequent trials for their alleged co-conspirators. That's kind of how a lot of these prosecutions work.
So what Abby is telling him is it's not uncommon for somebody you've been committing crimes with to also testify against you. It happens all day to people of color, Dr. Phil, but you never see these folks showing up to these folks' rescue. But all of a sudden, now they're showing up to Donald Trump's rescue to try to make it look like something else. Donald Trump, who is a victim of the United States federal government, of the same government that he didn't have a problem ripping off, right? He ripped them off, charging Secret Service to stay at his properties, excessive amounts, right? He had no problem with the United States government as long as he was able to use it to terrorize his political rivals, right? And now we got Dr. Phil trying to be a secret Trump supporter and act like we all can't see it. He's secret Trump supporter. He's MAGA. And as far as I'm concerned, he's in the same hot seat as the rest of them. You know, openly or proudly trying to be a racist without saying they're a racist. So ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Join me in giving Dr. Phil what he deserves, all right? Because I thought he was a doctor and he would at least try to approach it from a holistic approach, but he didn't. So we're going to give it to him because he has no shame, all right? Join me in giving Dr. Phil what he deserves, another round of booze and shame. Bye, Dr. Phil.
You MAGA demon!
It's a sick thing that's going on in this country. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to almost open up the boxes, all right? But there's one more topic. I'm just going to skip to this, and then we'll talk January 6th, all right? This story, ladies and gentlemen, when I read this story, I said, Lord have mercy. Another example of a person that's possessed with the MAGA demon finding out the hard way they've been wrong. Listen to this story. Conservative family who relocated from this state that I'm in, California, and they went to the state that I'm from, Idaho, to escape the liberal politics. They revealed why they regret their move after struggling to fit in with judgmental gossip. Isn't that funny? These same folks that are on TikTok that profess to be Christians. Right. Let me go ahead and get away from these Democrats and go to a red state, right? Listen to this. This is live from the gutter. This is real. This is real information. A conservative family who left California to Idaho in 2021 have returned due to difficulties, quote, fitting in. Melvin Galling and Corey Ray made the return trip because the blue state this past April, taking on to TikTok to make the announcement. Both cited judgmental attitudes and gossiping as the reason for fleeing. You see how they use the word fleeing? You're fleeing. What are you fleeing? You're being persecuted in a red state? I wonder why. All right, after leaving a suburb a half hour's drive from LA, they took their 2 twin daughters along for the ride, leaving behind Corey's 4 other kids from 2 other relationships. All right, the 4 quickly found out that in Idaho, the gem state, not everything that glitters is gold. All right, as Iowa in the past has earned the reputation for not being the most welcoming to the people of color. Wow. He's Mexican. He's of Mexican descent, right? And he's got this white woman that he's with, right? And so he was living in LA and he didn't understand that he was a conservative mentally, but wherever he went, the stuff that he was dealing with would be an issue if you take that somewhere else, right? So he found out the hard way. He took his special behind to Idaho, out of all places. You must not have done your research. You must be one of those Latins for Trump. Wow. Gaylong and his daughter are Mexican, but they did not say racism played a part in their decision to leave. A statement to 51-year-old Corey's TikTok explained why. This is how he tries to clean it up. This is how they try to clean it up, ladies and gentlemen. We decided after 3 years in Idaho, we're going back home to California. We wanted to move to a conservative state, but we realized what it meant to fit in. It would mean he would need to be judgmental. We would need to gossip about others, have our kids forget how to say please and thank you, talk bad about new people moving here for a better life. We left California because of politics, but we forgot there are other kinds of politics to consider. You mean racism? I could have told you it was a bad idea. An accompanying video, ladies and gentlemen, showed the family dancing outside their 7-bedroom home in Idaho Falls, which boasts a crime rate of 26% lower than the national average. All right? This is where they went. All right? All right. In contrast, the city of Angels sports a crime rate higher than the national average by a whopping 52.4%, with an average of 370 or so daily crimes, just under a quarter of them violent. The Golden State has been battling problems with rising homelessness and open drug use in recent years in major cities. All right. These numbers help explain why Idaho, a landlocked locale located 450 miles from California, surfaced as a top relocation choice for Californians during the pandemic. This proved particularly true between 2021 and 2022, when spikes seen during the first year of the crisis persisted. All right? But listen to this. The family story thus resonates with many, bringing attention to some of the lesser known challenges that come with living in a conservative state. Despite playing home to a breathtaking landscape and low cost of living, here we go. Idaho is isolated and home to several tight-knit communities scattered about the sprawling state. Idaho Falls, despite being one of the state's biggest cities, is no different, with a population of around 65,000 people. That pales in comparison to most cities, with much of that sample set representing longtime residents. Now here's the part that I want you all to understand about Idaho. Moreover, towns like Coeur d'Alene, which has a population of 40,000, have earned reputations as being a haven for white supremacist groups. The Aryan Nations group regularly holding nationally publicized parades in the area. Multiple anti-Semitic symbols have also popped up elsewhere around the state, including Treasure Valley, where hate groups known as the Proud Boys have been seen at events, and the Confederate flag flies commonly. I'm not saying everyone in Idaho is like that, because I know a lot of great folks in these red states, and actually I'm from that state. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is what they didn't do is their research. See, all this propaganda they've been consuming by Fox News and making them think, oh, Democrat cities are bad because of this or bad because of that. They left out the racism part that's going on in these red states, right? You see how they leave that out? They didn't say, Democrat cities, they got their issues. But you know what? They're doing a better job tackling racism than these red states. They don't say that to you. So what did you do? What did he do? I'll tell you what he did. He looked at his wife, just like Byron Donalds, right? Hey, baby, you know what? Let's get away from these liberals and let's go to a real conservative state where they believe in God, right? I'm Mexican and you're white. Let's go take our family there, right? Our money will go longer and we will get treated like we deserve to be treated. This is what they thought. They did everything it took to get their special behinds to Idaho and Idaho Falls. And when they got there, they didn't know the neighborhood would be looking at them going, I know that we don't got one of these Mexican men dating these white girls. And they thinking it's okay. Oh, see, they didn't know that was going to come, right? And now they found out, and guess what they do? They're fleeing back to California. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? We had to cover it on today's show to get the message out. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving this couple what they deserve. Because even though they fled back to California, they didn't even openly come out and say, you know what? We were wrong. There's a lot of racism going on. They want to talk about it being gossip. It wasn't no gossip. Gossip don't make you leave. Who? I left the state because they were gossiping. That's not why they left. They left because they recognized this was a bad decision and they needed to get out of there if they wanted to protect their family. And it's funny they came back to a blue state. So let's give them what they deserve. A round of boos and shame.
Very hungry, man.
Silence, you MAGA demons. All right. It's time to cover my last topic before I open up the boxes. And thank you all for bearing with me as we get through these tough conversations on this show. All right. Let's move on to the last part of the topic. And many of you know exactly what this is about. This is January 6th. I will continue to cover January 6th as long as there are January 6ers, what I call them, seditionists, treasonous traitors, as long as they continue to be brought to justice. I'm asking the folks that are listening, does anyone in the audience still believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged? Is there anybody, we're almost 4 years out from when this actually happened. Is there anyone else in the audience that believes? Oh, okay. Okay, we have a yes. See, what I like to do during this part of the show is bring up someone who still believes that the 2020 election was rigged and get them to explain why they believe Donald Trump's claim still. So, anyone willing to come up and explain why they believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged? I'll give you 2 minutes to get it out. All right. Does anyone out there believe? Okay. Thank you, mods, for helping me. All right. Unfortunately, they don't have enough, or maybe their live access was suspended or something, but I can't accept them. Anyone else? Anyone else out there that believes Donald Trump's claims that the 2020 election was rigged? And the reason that I ask this, the reasons that I have to ask this is because your answer determines how deep I need to go in the next part of the show. All right. Anyone out there want to volunteer themselves to come up here and explain why they believe the 2020 election was rigged? I've been doing this for a while. All right. Anyone? By a show of put a yes in the chat if you believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged. I used to get a lot more yeses, ladies and gentlemen, but as you can see, I've been quite effective. Okay, I see someone, Robert. There we go. As you can see, I've been quite effective at this. All right, Robert, you don't have enough. Wow. Mods, anyone out there, if someone says yes, please pin it so that I can try to send them an invite. Anyone out there, the question is, anyone out there still believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged? Oh, okay. Oh, someone said I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Idaho. That's so funny you said that. Come on up here and say that to Zeus. I promise you I know a lot more about Idaho than you think I do. All right? Don't you ever come into my live and tell me what I don't know or what I do know. All right? That's the worst thing you could ever do. I sent them an invite, and they said, yeah, I sent you an invite, user. All right, but you didn't want to come up. So you know what? We're going to give user a round of booze and shame because user is still deranged. Hi,
Silence! You NACA demon!
All right, so I'm going to proceed. Hey, boy, how you gonna talk like late Lynn? Okay, well, listen, I don't even think you can speak English correctly, all right? But I'm gonna go ahead and invite you up here, because you seem like you got the MAGA demon. I've invited that MAGA demon into the box because at this point, I'm just looking for any of you Trump supporters to come up here and back up what you've been talking about. But it's so funny they don't want to come in the box and talk to Big Zeus for some strange reason. So since you're too weak. You're too weak to come in the box and explain why you believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged. Let me help you understand why his claim was not true and why he played you or how he played you all like a fiddle. So bear with me. The reason a lot of Trump supporters right now are in hot water is because of this. Let me go ahead and get the graphic up because, you know, they always say, Zeus, you don't bring proof. And what I want to do is get them kind of acclimated with what's going on. Many of you are familiar with what was happening right around this time, right? This is the unemployment rate. This is the unemployment rate during Donald Trump's time in office. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, okay. This is very, very high. What was going on in the country? Do you all remember the pandemic?
Years ago, before we get started, we're going to talk about the economy and a lot of other things. The CDC has identified a case of coronavirus in Washington State, the Wuhan strain of this. If you remember SARS, that affected GDP, travel-related effects. Have you been briefed by the CDC? Are there words about a pandemic at this point?
No, we're not at all, and we have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China, and we have it under control. It's going to be just fine.
Okay, and President Xi.
So that's Donald Trump talking about the pandemic, and he says we have it all under control. It's going to be fine. We all remember this, right? This is what happened when Trump was the president. And look at the unemployment numbers, right? Notice they're through the roof while Trump is in office, MAGA.
And again, when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done.
President, today the U.S. hit a grim milestone of 1 million cases of the coronavirus. Back in late February, you predicted that the number of cases would go down to zero. How did we get from your prediction of 0 to 1 million?
Well, it will go down to zero ultimately. And you have to understand, when it comes to cases, we do much more testing than anybody else. So we can go to some of these other countries, you know, as an example, China. If you test, you're going to show many more cases. So we're doing more testing than any other country in the world.
So he's lying about the cases going down to zero. They didn't go to zero. They shot up to 1 million. MAGA. Look at the unemployment numbers. It's shooting up with the cases, right? Remember the travel ban?
To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground.
This is what was going on while Trump was in office.
The virus that we're talking about having to do, you know, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat. I think that's a problem that's going to go away. When you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, it's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. You have to be calm. It'll go away. It will go away. Just stay calm. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. It will go away. You know it is going away.
Over 40 times, they caught him saying it was going to go away. It didn't go away. America, the economy was on its knees because Donald Trump mismanaged the pandemic. The writing was on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't going to get reelected. Right? So what happened? Well, the results of the election came out, ladies and gentlemen, and we all remember what happened, right? The election results came out. Donald Trump was supposed to concede. He was supposed to come out and concede to Joe Biden. Did he concede? He didn't concede. Except, you know what he did? He came out and he did this. Wait a minute, hold on. You definitely have no idea what you're talking about? Okay, well, listen to what I'm saying. Maybe you'll be able to keep up. It sounds to me like you're having a hard time listening. If you learned how to listen, I won't have to slow down so you can keep up, all right? So, Donald Trump, instead of conceding to President Biden, he did this.
We had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory.
You hear that, MAGA? Did he concede? No. But get this. To that gentleman that wanted to talk to me, when I open up my boxes, you be the first one I talk to. Just don't be afraid to get in the box, all right? But let me get back to explaining what happened. He did not concede. Instead, he did what I call one of the greatest magic tricks I've ever seen one man do. He convinced all of you so-called intelligent individuals, he convinced all of you that he won. I've never seen anything like this. Listen to how he convinced you that he won. It's incredible. Listen to what he did.
76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
You hear that, MAGA? Do you hear that? He right there convinced all of you that he won. Nowhere else in your adult life, not even when you were a kid, nowhere else can someone just walk around and say, you know what? You know, yesterday you watched the game. It was the Celtics versus the Mavs, right? The Mavs lost. Imagine Kyrie Irving going out there and saying, you know what? We were getting ready to win this game. Frankly, we won the game. And then the scoreboard all of a sudden shows the Mavs won and the Celtics lost. It doesn't work like that, MAGA. But yet we got you on tape cheering him as he lied and tricked you. This is why I say this is the worst of the worst. So what happened next, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I know you all remember this so-called, this moment in American history.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
The so-called perfect phone call, right? See, that's what got him the RICO indictment out there in Fulton County with Fonnie Willis. So he has the fake elector scheme going. What does Donald Trump decide to do with all this energy he's got worked up in his supporters? We all remember it. This is what he does. Attention! Because he assumes he's the new modern day Jefferson Davis, and all of his Trump supporters, they're his new Confederate soldiers. Attention! I lost to Joe Biden, and I'm very, very angry. So what I need you to do is sell everything you have and send the proceeds to me, because I'm your daddy. Okay? And then I need you to meet me at an event that I am hosting in Washington, D.C. All right? It's called Stop the Steal. All right? And I want you to be there. It's going to be a big protest. Be there will be wild. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you this is true. When his soldiers, I call them Trumpies, when they thought they would be able to have a wet and wild time with their daddy in Washington, D.C., they did everything they could to get there, didn't they? They broke their necks to get to Washington, D.C. So what happened next? You won't believe this. Because he had taken all their money, they needed a cheap, economical, affordable way to get to Washington, D.C. So what did they decide to use to get to Washington, D.C.? What did some of them do? I'll show you. How many of you ever seen one of these? That's a U-Haul. All right? $20 a day. $19.99 if you get it on a good day, right? $19.99. These Trump supporters said, why don't we use this U-Haul to get as many of us to Washington, D.C. as we can? You can't make this up. You can see them. This one got pulled over by the police. All right. The police pulled these knuckleheads over. All right. And I said, wow, could you imagine what it was like when the police had to pull this U-Haul over? Sir, could you get out of the car? You know, who else is in the car? Oh, me and him. And anyone else? Yes, there's more people. Where are they at? Oh, they're in the back. They're in the back. Get out of the car. And they go to the back of the U-Haul. They open up the U-Haul and they see a bunch of sweaty grown men crammed in the back of a U-Haul like a can of sardines. All right. And we got these folks. Look at them. This is who was in the back of the U-Haul with their khaki pants on, with the mask. You know who they are, right? The Patriot Front. The Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, the Oath Keepers, white supremacists. Oh, well, we're going to have to book y'all and send y'all to jail for this because this is illegal. Where were you go? Oh, we were about to go meet up with Daddy in D.C. Oh, okay, well, you won't be there. All right. So what happens next, ladies and gentlemen, is incredible, all right? And if you, I didn't mention this, but if you notice, they're wearing that mask. Sometimes I talk about it, sometimes I don't. Where's my, you know what's so funny about those masks, MAGA? This was during put the mask on. You know what they would do? They'd walk in the store with the mask on like this. As soon as they get in, they'd lower it like this, right? And you could see all the boogers and the snot coming out of their noses, right? You can see this, and you go up to them and you go, hey, sir, could you put the mask all the way up? Just scoot it on up. Scoot it up. Coughing all over the produce. I can't breathe. They would cough. I can't breathe. We don't care, wear that mask. I can't breathe. Okay, you gonna crash out because they want you to wear a mask? You gonna crash out like that? Fine. I'm out of here. All right. But then I go and I look on my timeline and I see you same knuckleheads wearing the mask when it's time to be racist and commit crimes. See how I catch you Trump supporters in your lies? And it's just not me catching you. The rest of us see you. So what happens next, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, is par for the course. All right. Many of you remember Marjorie Trader Green. How many of you know who Marjorie Trader Green is, right? Here she is right here. All right. This is Lieutenant Marge. Many of us suspect she was the one that also planted those pipe bombs on January 6th. All right. But now that these soldiers are at the ellipse waiting for Donald Trump, Marjorie decides to give them some orders. All right, listen to what she tells these MAGA demons, all right, while they're waiting to meet up with their daddy. Listen to what she tells them.
Everything. If we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside. These are public buildings. We own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the building. Finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board. We already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay tuned.
All right. So that's her telling you Trump supporters to wait for your dad. But guess what? Get ready to take a dagger to the throat of the democracy at the United States Capitol. So what happens next, ladies and gentlemen, and I kid you not, is probably going to go down in American history as one of the most heroic moments we've ever seen in our lifetime. Donald Trump goes into the office where Mike Pence is on, and he says, Pence, buddy, I think it's time for us to, do that thing you and I talked about. Don't you dare certify those votes for Joe Biden. And what did Mike Pence do? He grew a spine that day, and he said, Mr. President, unfortunately, I can't do that for you. Because in order for me to do that, it would require me to place you above the United States Constitution, a document that our founding fathers and our framers fought and bled for, a document that even to this day, Americans continue to fight and bleed for. And as a matter of fact, I don't think anyone asking me to do such a thing is fit to be president of the United States. In other words, no, I'm not going to obey you and commit your crimes. So Donald Trump, in an act of anger and frustration, he's angry now. He leans in to Mike Pence. His breath is smelling like Big Macs and Diet Coke. And he says, you know what your problem is, Pence? You're a little too honest. And he called him that nasty P word. The same P word that we heard him use in the Access Hollywood tape. That's for you so-called Christians. I'll take care of it myself. Security, take me to go to the Ellipse and meet up with my troops. Secret Service says, sir, those folks are armed to the T. They got tactical gear. They got military-grade equipment. They got things that'll stun you. And they got this new thing called demon spray. Demon spray? What's demon spray? Oh, you take a little bee spray. You take a little bear spray. You pray that MAGA cult verse over it, and you got demon spray. And what happens is, if you spray it on people, the MAGA demon will possess them, and they'll do anything you say. He said, they got that demon spray? Yes, sir. And you know what Donald Trump says? I don't care. Take me to be with my troops. They're not bringing it to harm me. Secret Service says, well, you do have a point. And so we all saw this moment in American history when Donald J. Trump went to the Ellipse and stood in front of all of his soldiers and encouraged them to engage in heinous acts of violence.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Right? That's Donald Trump encouraging them to engage in heinous acts of violence. And you know who was there? Look at him. Does anyone see BLM, Antifa, or the FBI, or those ghost buses? Or do we all see this as Trump supporters, right? So what happens next? Well, you remember it.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
So, let's have trial by combat.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So, let's have trial by combat.
Anybody confused at this point about what's happening? This is what's going on in the minds of you Trump supporters. You're worked up, you're angry, and now you're ready to fight. Let's have trial by combat. And that began the assault on the democracy, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you know who Ashley Babbitt is? How many of you know who this woman was? She's somebody that was radicalized by Donald Trump that day. And we got her on mic. We got her, listen to what she was saying, all right, leading up to that assault on the Capitol that day. Listen to what Ashley Babbitt was saying. The same rhetoric Donald Trump was fueling her with. Listen to it.
District. Why don't you worry about your own goddamn district and the shit's going on there? You are a complete, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting all you on notice. Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue, patriots and Trump.
A sea of nothing but red, white, and blue, patriots for Trump. And you all remember what happened to Ashley Babbitt during this moment, right before she lost her life in the battlefield, right? You all remember this moment? This is the moment right before she lost her life. That's the moment right before Ashley Babbitt lost her life in the battlefield for her commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump. Ashley Babbitt would not have been there if Donald Trump did not tell that big lie and invite her there. All right? If Donald Trump did not radicalize Ashley, she wouldn't have been there. All right? And lost her life. And what did Donald Trump do, ladies and gentlemen? What did he do after he found out that one of his foot soldiers had lost her life in the battlefield for him? What did Donald Trump do? MAGA, especially you. Does anyone know what Donald Trump did after he found out one of his soldiers lost her life in the battlefield? Does anyone know? I'll tell you.
Information that stands out to me is that Donald Trump was passed a note after one of the rioters was shot in the Capitol, and was made clear that this person had been shot, this woman had been shot in the chest. And the valet says that he offered no reaction upon learning that. He kept sitting in the chair watching the violence unfurl on TV.
A non-reaction at the death of Ashley Babbitt.
You hear that, MAGA? He did nothing. Because as far as he was concerned, she failed. No condolences, no flowers, no nothing. He just sat there angry, did nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is January 6th. This is the crime scene, one of them at least, on January 6th. That one that Donald Trump literally organized and executed in an effort to subvert the will of the American people. This is what we all watched unfold on TV. This is January 6th. This is why we call Trump supporters seditionists, treasonous traitors too. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I got another update for you, and then we're going to open up the boxes. Some more justice has been delivered to us. 6 Ohioans sentenced for their part in the January 6th insurrection on the U.S. Capitol. 6 Ohioans, including a Grove City man, have been sentenced for their roles in the January 6th insurrection at the United States Capitol. The men are among the more than 60 Ohioans who have faced federal charges on that day. Supporters of then President Donald J. Trump marched to the United States Capitol, where Congress was certifying the results of the 2020 presidential election. The insurrectionists broke windows at the Capitol, forced their way into the Senate chambers, and delayed the counting of electoral votes by several hours. Federal prosecutors have charged more than 1,400 people for their roles, largely based on evidence from security cameras, photographs, and videos posted on social media. All right? Look at these traitors. All right? Joshua Coker, 45, Oregon, Ohio. All right? All right? He pled guilty to engaging in disorderly or disruptive conduct with intent to impede, disrupt, or disturb the orderly conduct of a session of Congress. Robert and Stephen Hanna, 36, Dayton, Ohio. All right. On May 9th, twin brothers Robert and Stephen Hanna, both 39 of Dayton, Ohio, received matching sentences for 2 years of probation. Each brother was also ordered to pay a $1,000 fine. Who else? Cody Tippett, 33 of Culver City. He was sentenced to 30 days in federal prison and 3 years of probation. He was also ordered to pay $500 in restitution. Michael Mackerel, 42 of Wellington. All right. He was sentenced to 27 months in federal prison and 1 year supervised release. He pled guilty to assaulting, resisting, or impeding police officers. Clifford Mackerel, 23, Wellington, all right? He traveled to Washington, D.C. with his dad, and he pled guilty to a single count of assaulting police officers, according to federal court records. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten more justice. And this is why we do what we do on this show. So to those seditionists, treasonous traitors, this one is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to giving these 6 demons what they deserve. A round of boos and shame.
Silence! You MAGA demon!
All right, and since they wanted to be soldiers so bad for Donald Trump, let's send them off the old-fashioned way.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
Do you all understand now what happened on January 6th? Any questions, MAGA? Do you understand how Donald Trump played you all like a fiddle? I mean, how many positions can he take in this battle?
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. You know, Trump supporters, I got to open up the boxes, but I'll end by saying this. When are you going to wake up and realize Donald Trump is playing you like a fiddle, and that you are all in probably one of the largest circuses that has ever been built? All right. Donald Trump is going to go down in American history as the most successful ringmaster. All right. Because, wait, you know it is a circus, right? You can't tell me it's not a circus. He literally is doing what a clown does. All right. I got proof to back this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just check this out. Look at this. You can tell this guy's a clown. Look at him. Look at him. Look, a clown wears makeup, right? He does the same thing. He wakes up every day, puts that orange makeup on. MAGA, don't I look so good? A clown puts on a wig. He does the same thing. He puts that little bird's nest right there on his head, smacks it right there on his cranium. Don't I look good to y'all? Clown wears that little thing around his waist with that little ridiculous suit. Donald Trump does the same thing. He puts on that dirty, disgusting diaper, that same crumpled blue suit with that ridiculous red tie, and he gets onto his social media platform and gives you all your daily orders. And you believe him. He's selling you anything he can get his hands on. Think about it. When the last time you needed some golden shoes, MAGA, except for in a circus? When's the last time you needed some NFTs, MAGA? Except for in the circus. When's the last time you needed some Trump bucks? You know, he got this thing called Trump bucks. And someone actually thought it was worth money. You guys are ridiculous, right? He's selling you water. He's selling you steaks. Every day you get an email asking for donations. All right? You can't tell me it's not a circus. And you're right. You're wrong about this. You know how they like to say, the world is laughing at the United States. No, MAGA. The world is laughing at you because they can't understand why you continue to walk that tightrope for Donald Trump, why you continue to lie for him, twist yourselves up into pretzels for him, jump through all these hoops for him, send him all your money, and wear those ridiculous red hats going all over the United States acting like he's some sort of messiah. Wake up, MAGA. You're in a cult. And if you don't get out, you're going to get the ultimate MAGA reward. And they say, well, what's the ultimate MAGA reward? Jail. And if you don't get your soul right, hell. With a chapter 11 in between, all right? And a lot of you Trump supporters are on your way to getting it, all right? Just look at Rudy Giuliani. He's a good example. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my monologue. Let's open up these boxes. And hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. All right, you know the rules. You get 3 minutes to speak your truth. All right. This is not the opportunity to debate Zeus. All right. When I venture off into those red spaces, I do that for a couple of reasons. One, to show you I'm not afraid to talk to people. All right. That way I know exactly where to take the message. Right. Number two, that's where I can get more information about what's going on. And I'll be honest, I've been asking MAGA for a couple of things. One, if you got dirt on President Joe Biden, please bring it forward. None of them have ever brought it forward. And I'm asking you to take back all of the lies you've been saying on TikTok. From they would never indict a former president to the red wave is coming to they wouldn't have a trial before the election, right? They won't, all those lies you Trump supporters have been telling, or especially about January 6th. That's the only thing I want to hear from you. Other than that, sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, my first guest, my man. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Just another day in the kingdom, tending to the affairs as usual. You okay?
So, no. So I'm great. I'm great. But I want to start. I actually don't want to talk politics this morning. With your permission, I want to talk about something completely different that I think needs to be addressed.
Go for it.
So,
super chair.
I'm gonna need everyone who feels as though they can keep lying on people, who feels as though they can keep putting Black lives in danger. I'm gonna need y'all to understand. You see this chair, it's very symbolic. I want you to take your minds back to August of 2023 in Alabama. You go look it up. Because I tell you what, we can fool around, we can joke, we can laugh, and we can talk about some serious items. But when it comes to putting people's lives in danger because of your vitriol, because of your speech, I promise you, our community is going to come together. I want this cheer to be symbolic. And yes, I'm calling names because I don't give a... I'm about to get smoky from Friday up in here. I don't give it anymore. Janae, Stacy, Day, all you fools, keep it up and you're gonna learn today. Because nobody's gonna continue to sit there and take your threats and your vitriol. Stop it. And I know you're listening because all y'all are some little maggot trolls. Be a man, be a woman, Stop coming to people's DMs. Stop threatening people in different lives. If you're bad enough to threaten them in a live, threaten them to their face. But see, that's the thing. Y'all won't do it because you're cowards. You're just like your little Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. You're a coward. You're a fool. You're fake. You're a fraud. And I'm going to use Dave's words to me. You're a rat. Your mama's a rat. Your daddy's a rat. Your grandpappy and your grandmammy, they're all rats. Stop threatening people. Stop putting black lives in danger because of your speech, you Carolyn Bryants.
How do they put black lives in danger, from your opinion, Nutty? How do they do it? Because I really tried to meet them, and I think some of them understood what I was saying. But how could you explain to these poorly educated folks with the MAGA demon how they might be putting black lives at risk with their rhetoric?
So, Zeus, listen, you already know the threats that you have endured.
Correct.
You already know the threats you've endured. We all have heard the lies from Janae. We all have heard you speak about the invite for coffee.
Yes.
We all know that she also made the comment that she was setting you up.
She said it was a joke.
Does she? I don't. That's nothing to joke about. That is nothing to joke about. A joke is why did the chicken cross the road at midnight? That's a joke.
Fair
But
enough.
setting people up that puts their personal safety in danger, that's not a joke. Never. And it's not funny, haha. And we're not going to stand for it.
Tell them.
We're not standing for it. So, I've been flagged for harassment and bullying, which is fine. Take this account down. I'll get another. I don't care.
Well,
You can flag all day long.
I think the message should be just keep it politics and stop the personal attacks, right? I really do try my best
But
to
they don't.
avoid.
But they don't get
I
that.
really do
They
try
they
to
don't get
avoid
it.
speaking about them, really, because I don't got time. I think it's more important we get the truth out there to the American people. But I recognize how important it is for you to do what you're doing. All right, so I thank you actually for doing that. All right.
Be safe out there, man. And at the end of the day, your community, we got your back.
All right. All right. I appreciate, right? And at the end of the day, I got yours. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Nutty Professor a round of applause. Hey, where did my comments go? Hold on, I think my comments has disappeared. Then, all right, I see my comments. All right, yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. My assessment is it's so funny how these folks don't mind, calling me everything but a child of God, right? But they have a very, very difficult time calling their cult leader Donald Trump the very things they call me. But it's not surprising. That's why I said it's going to get worse because the messaging. They're mad that we don't need opposition in the box to have a successful show. That's why they're mad, if you ask me. All right, let's move it along.
Good morning, my dear friend.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and I want to talk about two things you brought up this morning. Well, of course, we always talk about January 6th, but I'll bring that up later. But I want to talk about the Idaho thing you were talking about.
Talk to him.
And we all know where you're from.
Yeah.
And you know what it was like there. But I want to bring up something you brought up about Proud Boy meetings there and all that,
Yeah.
and the Confederate flag. Wait a minute, I thought it was Southern Pride. So what the heck are they flying it in Northwest?
Yep. Tell them. Yeah.
What the heck? If it's not a symbol for something, Why are they flying it in Idaho?
Mm.
Makes no sense to me. I mean, I see it every day, and everyone in the South, they see it, people flying it off their houses,
Yeah.
their cars, and everything. But Idaho,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just real confusing to me. If it's just a Southern thing,
Yeah.
a whole heritage
And,
thing.
and remember, it was the Democrats that used to do that, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes, Democrats.
The way they color history, right?
Yeah, I've brought up all the things in my lives. I've brought up all the things that great things that Democrats have passed that helps the American people.
Right.
From unemployment benefits to everything, and women's vote. And I made a mistake because it was Republican then when women got the right to vote, but
Right.
it was liberalism then. It was liberals and conservatives.
Got
It's
it.
totally backwards.
Got it. Got it.
So
See?
we need to. I get called out. They come, hey, that was a Republican deal. Yeah, that's because they were liberal then.
Mm.
That's why they believed in women's rights. The second thing, the January 6th. These people that sat and watched this go on and gone. We've seen the videos. We know what he said on January the 6th. And we've got to realize what he did during the pandemic. He was a failure as a president. What he
Bingo.
did during the January 6th was failure of a president. Even though he did it,
Yeah.
he still, when he saw the violence erupting, he sat on his tushy and didn't do a thing.
187 minutes, right? Went by, no response.
3 hours of him sitting there watching this on television, testimony from his daughter, people in his cabinets. It's ridiculous. And these people think, oh, he's a good president, a good leader. How did he handle COVID? He told us it was no big deal. It's going to go away really fast for
Wow.
months and months. So
Yeah.
people really couldn't protect themselves. And he knew way in advance.
Yeah.
And another thing, you know how MAGA men like to make fun of men for painting their nails
Correct.
or doing a certain thing. It's amazing they never call out their own leader that puts on makeup every day, paints and dusts himself,
Yep.
and puts on a wig. What's it's confusing to me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's confusing.
It's every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. I mean, these people deep down inside, they hate themselves. They do.
They do. They actually do. And Donald Trump is just the representation of themselves.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Donald Trump, how he acts, what he does. You can't say with all this stuff, if you've seen the great things of Biden and you still support Trump, it's actually because you like Trump. You like what he stands for. You like the hate. You like the
Exactly.
separation. You like all this stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's not because it was a better place, because it absolutely was not a better place. Almost a million people died in our country because of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's been shown that we could have saved hundreds and thousands of people if he would have gave us fair warning, better protection, telling people, hey, be careful. This is a deadly thing coming to us. We've got to
Right.
do this and that. But
Right.
he was failure as a president. Bottom line, we do not need someone like Donald Trump to sit in that seat anymore and to cause
Absolutely not.
separation. And especially, he has no plans to fix anything. He
Right.
just has a retribution plan. That's it.
And he's openly promoting retribution.
Exactly. I don't understand. God Almighty.
It's not a plan for America. It's a plan for Donald Trump. All right.
That's it. It's retro and to keep his butt out of jail. That's all it is.
Tell him,
That's
April.
all it is. Keep his butt out of jail. People, open your eyes. Vote Joe Biden for my daughter's rights, for my granddaughter's rights, for human rights, for the LGBTQIA plus community, for people in any marginalized community. You need to vote Biden. Protect democracy.
Thank you,
He
April.
is destroying us.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day, dear.
All right, you too, April. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the beautiful April. No lies detected. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a show about love and concern and care. This is a great community of people, and what we're doing is getting the truth out there, right? That's why I do what I do, and then I bring up people that they get 3 minutes to share whatever is on their mind. That's how this works. All right, but we want the truth. We don't want people coming up here denying reality. All right, let's move it along. All right. All right, all right. We're gonna do. We're going to do. We're gonna do this a good way. I'm gonna do ping pong. I'm trying to bring up people we know and then people we don't know. We got a good audience. Good morning.
It's always a method to your madness, and it's always on point, so you don't have to worry about it, Zeus. Good morning.
All right. Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday. Yes. How are you feeling though? How are you doing?
I have been sleeping like a baby, especially after the, conviction that, he got 34 of them.
Yeah. He has 34 convictions, and none of them have gone away.
None of them.
He
wakes up every day. He gonna be a felon today, a felon tomorrow, a felon next year, felon the year after that. So it's all good.
Give it to him.
So this whole thing about his VP pick, right?
Okay. Oh.
He's trying to string it along, wait it out, whatever.
Right.
Speculation about these conservatives.
Right.
Pick, right?
Yeah, right.
So my thing is that I know he ain't gonna pick no Negroes.
You don't think he's gonna pick Tim Scott or Byron Donalds?
No, they just tokens. They just tokens.
But they're trying so hard.
Well, they tap dance. That's what they do. That's the part of their job, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yes, massa. You want me to dance a faster? Yes, massa. He's a faster. That kind of thing. Anyway,
Lord have mercy. Oh my God, you're right though.
Donald Trump happened to say, what you say? I'm sorry, because my dog was squeaking.
Oh yeah, Prince, cut it out, Prince. I know what you're into.
Cut it out. Go somewhere. But so Donald Trump has said that he was going to announce his VP pick at the convention.
Oh,
after the conviction.
Oh,
and
I don't think he has he?
No, he said in interviews. He's recently said in interviews like the one he just had not too long ago, whatever.
He has
that, matter of fact, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah,
that he would announce his running mate at the national convention next month.
Okay, next month. Okay, got it.
Yeah. That's when he's going to, because he was out on Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Oh,
strange, right?
Yeah. And
he was
Dr.
on Dr.
Phil.
Phil.
He couldn't help him. Did you see how he looked? He looked a hot mess, right?
Well, some people seem to think that the makeup was looking better and, maybe his hair was combed a little bit better, but nah, not me. I think he looked a hot ass mess for sure. And
yeah,
I couldn't believe, oh man, Zeus, you can't write this. You can't make this stuff up. You just gotta wake up in the morning and figure out, just like we used to when he was president, right? Like, I hope he don't press the button today.
Right.
We all going to smithereens. But anyway, yeah, it's wild how he ended up on Dr. Phil.
I mean, if anything, he should be reading the tea leaves, right? Why am I having these kind of conversations with people all of a sudden? Like, he should be able to deduce that something's not quite right in his world right now, and that he needs to change.
I mean, he got the insider polls that tells him that.
Yeah.
He's privy to information that you and I and everybody else is not privy to.
Correct.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing is, that's why I said a bunch of controversy swirling around this whole thing. You got Byron, you got him over there tap dancing. You got Tim Scott trying to get, the nomination or the selection or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But it's just wild how he just turning this once again into another circus act.
Yeah, he was on Dr. Phil yesterday.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and Dr. Phil thought that he was going to, tell him who the pick was.
Right.
Oh, I can't yet, but we have some very good people. He says, I'm going to do it at the convention. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
and where after he gets convicted. I mean, after he gets sentenced. So
Right.
that's going to be interesting. He's right. It's going
Yes.
to be an interesting time, and I'm here for it because he's going to get roasted again by Judge Mershon, and he's going to end up, maybe even changing plans.
Bingo. Right.
he
And
might
we are
have to.
here
He
for
might
it.
have to do a Zoom call for the convention because who knows where he might end up. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Tell him, Boss Diva.
All right, Zeus. I love you, and I'll see you later. Have a good weekend if I don't, and stay safe in these TikTok streets because they wild, man. They wild.
All right, I will, and you too, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to the beautiful Miss Boss Diva. No lies detected. Yeah, to that gentleman about the nuclear subs that are in the Caribbean. That's not Biden. That's just normal things that happen, and Russia has done that before. It doesn't mean a single thing. All right, we got subs all over as well. So please. Go do your research about what's really been going on in this world, all right? Don't just sit there and read a headline and get all worked up, you MAGA demon. Like I said, there's not a single Trump supporter that has actually been able to produce credible evidence to justify any of their ridiculous claims that they've been making, all right? Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen, all right? We're going to ping pong, all right? I want to talk to somebody I don't normally talk to, if you don't mind, and then we'll go back to somebody else, all right? So let's start here. Just Jen, good morning. Um, how are you this morning? Just Jen.
Hi, Zeus. Thanks for
Hi.
having me.
You're
Can
welcome.
you
This is
hear
our
me?
first. Yes, this is our first time doing business.
Yes, yes, yes. It's the first time
Uh,
I've come across your live, and this is
all
one
right.
live that's really live that I really got me interested in. I watched the whole
Oh.
thing.
Oh
I just
wow.
want
Well,
to.
I got a
Sorry, go ahead.
question to ask you too. There's an echo. Uh, am I on Bluetooth or anything like that?
I have you on my cell phone.
All right. Well, we'll try to work with it. I ask people questions. You might have to mute when I talk so the echo, because I don't know. It's TikTok. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, all right, to get a feel for where you stand on issues that matter the most, and then I'll give you your 3 minutes to talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Fair enough? And
Yeah,
thank you for joining, by the way.
you're welcome.
All right. So the first question is, thank you for that Cash App. Thank you. I got an alert. I don't know who it was, but the first question is, if the 2020 election, do you believe it was rigged the way that Donald Trump says it was rigged?
Absolutely not.
All right, you passed. Next question. If you had to put one person and say they're responsible for the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th, who would that be?
Definitely Donald Trump. I do have a list though, but he's number one.
That's fine. That's fine. Last and final questions. Have you been made aware of any evidence that Joe Biden is a criminal?
None whatsoever.
Let's go. You bad. All right, I'm going ahead and give you a follow. All right, all right. See, I got to do that because sometimes folks come in here and you think they with you and then they not. All right, so you got 3 minutes, Jen. What do you got for us this morning? And where are you calling from?
Well, I'm in New Jersey.
Shout out to New Jersey.
And I just wanted to say I agree with everything that you showed. I applaud the way you had it chronologically laid out. And that's exactly how it happened, exactly how I remembered it. We all were glued to our TVs, just waiting for like the military to come in and do something like they did to Black Lives Matters, who was just basically protesting, peacefully protesting. The whole thing is just a farce. And I can't believe that it's continued this far and it's continuing on.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you though. See, January 6th, they say it was a peaceful protest, a tourist visit gone awry. And what you're saying is you don't subscribe to that belief system, correct?
None of that. None of that. I sat and watched it here on my TV in horror because remember, we all were locked down. I was working remotely and was devastated. Donald Trump's whole presidency, which I hate to even say he had a presidency, was just so terrifying every single freaking day. You couldn't even sleep at night. The whole pandemic situation, which he just led us down a forest and just got so many people killed. And these people are still
unalived? You mean unalived? We gotta
unalived.
keep going. Yeah.
Millions of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And even
And
to
they're
this
still
day,
following him?
yeah, even to this day, did you hear the part of the show when I was talking about these brothers and sisters out here, especially Byron Donalds, that are openly supporting this man? What do you have to say about black folks who support Donald Trump?
It's hard to find words. The only thing I could relate it to and what I was thinking about last night, because it infuriates me so much, is slavery and how we were sold into slavery. And they don't see this is right back where we're headed. From the time that man came down that elevator and said, "Make America Great Again," and me being a foreigner, we pick up on this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? This is it. It's like a freaking nightmare.
A
And it's
nightmare.
a nightmare we woke up from a little bit for
Yeah.
4 years because he was always in the background,
Yep.
spewing stuff and doing stuff and just ridiculous. It's embarrassing for the country.
It is. Thank you for saying that. Now one of my last questions that I'm trying to get, the trial that he's just been recently convicted in. Do you think it's a witch hunt, or do you think that there just might be a chance he actually did do the crime and he's a criminal?
He is a criminal. The evidence was there, plain
Thank
as
you.
day.
You don't think it was a two-tier justice system or anything?
No.
Wow.
They saw the evidence, they reviewed it, and they acted upon it. They gave their verdict upon it. So he just needs to stop, man up, and take the consequences.
Yeah.
He likes to run around and be a little shit starter.
Now keep it clean. We gotta
Ish starter.
Okay, you did it. You did it.
And then, when it's time to pay the consequences, he want to cry like a baby. Like, no accountability. It just baffles my mind. It's like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
You're caught red-handed, but yet it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And the surmountable amount of lies.
Every
time his mouth is open, he's lying.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. All right.
And it's time the Republican, I end on this note, it's time the Republican tell him to step to the side and put somebody else in there to run.
Okay. Now were you a Republican at any point? Are you Democrat? Where do you lean? Where do you tend to lean? All right.
I've always been a Democrat.
All righty then. Let's go. All right. Well, listen, Judge Jen, it was a pleasure to meet you. All right.
Likewise.
I'm giving you a follow as well. All right. And I do hope to hear from you again. I really do appreciate you, joining this community. All right. It's one of the best out here. All right. There's a lot of them out here, but this is one of the best. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Judge Jen a round of applause. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what love looks like. This is what people who are coming together looks like. This is why I tell Trump supporters, don't worry about the rally sizes. Don't worry about Joe Biden's rally sizes. Just look around on the internet. Look around on TikTok. Ask yourself, which lives are the most successful? It's most likely left-leaning lives, and that's proof that Joe Biden will get reelected. Most people who are paying attention, they're getting this information and they're going, "Oh, okay, I see what we got to do. I see what we got to do." All right, moving on. Now let's go to a familiar, one of our family members. Good morning, Takesha. How are you doing?
Good morning, Zeus. How are you?
I am all right.
Zeus, the people that go on Dr. Phil, they have mental issues. So I'm not surprised that Trump went on now.
Bingo.
But listen, right? I got a couple of things I want to say.
Talk to him.
Number one, putting Trump back in office is like putting a child molester over the Girls and Boy Scouts of America.
I get what you're saying.
It makes absolutely no sense. And he wouldn't pick Byron nor Tim Scott if they screw up their skin with Brillo pads. Now we definitely.
Now that's funny.
But this is what I want to talk about because I really get sick of hearing and it's really getting on my nerves. Byron Donaldson yesterday kept talking about fathers in the home.
Yeah.
And try to make it seem like there are only homes of black people that don't have fathers in them. Zeus, there are plenty of single white women with children that don't have a father in the home. There are plenty of white women that started out with a man in the home that left her and the children and don't even see the children nor give any money because he's gone on with his new boo. Stop trying to make it seem like black kids are the only ones who lose a father because it's in all races. Yesterday,
tell him
my son took his daughter to the doctor because she had an appointment. And this is no word of a lie. If I'm lying, Lord, take me now. There were more black fathers at the doctor with their children, and the white women were with theirs, sitting by themselves. So just because a dad is in the house, don't mean he's in the home.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna say it again.
Say it, Takesha.
Just because he's in the house doesn't mean he's in the home. Just because a man sitting in a recliner in front of a TV with a wife and some children doesn't mean he's the father in that home. He probably don't play with those children. He don't tuck those children in. He's just there.
Wow.
So there are more fathers being real fathers that are co-parenting with their child's mother. My son doesn't live with his child's mother, but he is the best dad. He provides her everything she needs. He takes her where she needs to go. They go on vacation with her together because they want to still show a united front. So don't keep talking about black fathers are not in the home, because there are plenty of black fathers that are in the home and plenty of white fathers that are not.
Amen. Tell them, Takesha.
And I am sick of hearing it.
Tell them.
It gets on my nerves.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of them trying to make it seem like our children's dad don't care about them when I'm seeing single white women everywhere.
Amen. Tell them,
With
Takesha.
children. Cut the crap. That's just like saying, well, I only snort cocaine once a week, but you snorted 7, so that makes you an addict. You're still snorting cocaine.
Oh my God, Takesha, I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
I'm just saying, so until every white father is in the house with his white kids, stop talking about absent black fathers.
Hey, man.
Have a great day, Zeus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Takesha. No lies detected. Lord, listen, we keeping the door to the floor, ain't we, ladies and gentlemen? We keeping the door to the floor. That way no tadpole wiggle tail can get through. You know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, all right? I see there's some dissension in my comment. Uh-oh, sorry, Takesha. Uh-oh. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I see there's some dissension in my comment section. Maybe you didn't understand how I run this broadcast, all right? But let me give you a quick reminder.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
That's right.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, MAGA, you get how this works? All right. Good morning, Goats Are Us. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. And you, Zeus?
All right, I've been waiting to check in with you. I know you've been waiting for quite a while, right? And I'm glad that you stuck around, all right? You didn't give up on us.
I catch you when I can.
All right. Now, this is our first time doing business, huh? All right, I gotta ask you some questions, and how you answer them determine your fate, all right?
That's fine.
First question. The 2020 election, do you believe Donald Trump's claims that it was rigged?
No, not at all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. He's Next question. If you had to put one person and say they are responsible for the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th, who would that person be?
The clown Donald Trump.
Let's go. See, MAGA? You see how easy it is to tell the truth? Last final question. Do you know of any evidence of Joe Biden committing crimes that would make him a criminal?
I've been waiting just as long as you have to see any evidence.
All right. No lies detected. All right. Goats Are Us, and I've given you a follow. All right. What do you got for us this morning, brother?
Well, if I recall, Snuggles still owes you some steaks, and we farm. We took some cattle off to the slaughter there on Wednesday. So if he wants to get you some fresh steaks, just give me a DM, and I'll be happy, Snuggles, to sell you some for Mr. Zeus.
So what you're saying, he doesn't owe me just one cow. He probably owes 2 cows, because I know Yazzie has a farm. She said, and I think Snuggles can afford it. Snuggles, as a matter of fact, I think I need to request and speak to Snuggles. Yes, so I'll do that, Goats, and thank you so much, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, in terms of politics, do you got anything you want to get out there and share with the American people?
Well, for the ones that continue to come in your live daily, when I go into a live and I hear lies, I leave it,
Yeah.
but they come in your live day after day. So apparently they understand you're not lying. You're one, I mean, or else they would simply leave. It's easy to take that thumb and scroll up. And, I've got a 10-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and they made a comment or a video about me on the TikTok here because they were saying that Joe Biden was crying and sneezing during the Memorial Day ceremony. So I brought my 10-year-old daughter in and I said, baby, what do you think? He was pulling out a hanky out of his back pocket. Oh, he was pooping himself too. And she said, well, Dad, Memorial Day is very respectful for, I'm a veteran. She said, for the fallen soldiers
Thank you
and all.
for your service.
Thank you.
All
And
right.
she said, Dad, what are these people crazy? I mean, where do they think that he is pooping? Or, yes, he's crying because he has respect for fallen soldiers. She said, and these people clearly don't see this. But there's a video going around, because they're calling me, every name in the book. Just
Of
very
you.
disrespectful. Yeah.
They're doing this to you. These same people that cry about what we're doing over here on this side of TikTok, right?
Yeah.
They're actually the criminals. Why am I not surprised?
Exactly. I mean, and I can carry on a conversation with my kids better than you can because you ask them a question, and when you show them facts, they get so mad that they go on to something else without even ever explaining the end of it or where they're coming from. It's just, I don't know. But I have collected some MAGA gear because we have chickens, and there's some MAGA people here. I'm in Southern Ohio here.
Shout out to Southern Ohio, yes.
And I'll carry on conversation, and carry on. And finally, I'll bring up the politics. They'll have their flag and a MAGA red hat on and this and that. I said, well, Charlie, I said, can you tell me some good things about Trump? And he'll go on. I said, well, let me show you some proof, And I said, well, you thank me for my service. I said, but do you really thank me? Or do you think I'm a sucker or a loser? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, the guy that you're representing that hat with clearly said we are suckers and losers. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, here you go, September 30th of 2020, Charlie. Pulled it up. He went outside and removed the flag, and I took him 3 dozen eggs. So we're going to camp.
Thank you.
We're heading out camping here in just about 2 hours. And so I'm going to have a great fire tonight, starting with that MAGA flag.
Thank you. You're going to burn it.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Listen, you're a real hero in my eyes, sir. You really are, because this is the real work that has to get done, right?
Exactly. When they remove that, when they remove that American flag, I get cold chills talking about it. When they removed that American flag on January 6th and put that clown flag up there, and I lost 16 brothers and sisters over in Iraq, that really, really got me.
Wow. That's the testimony that I like to hear, right? And because I think it's very important for regular people like you and I to really get our message out here to the people so they can understand, like, when you go and vote, understand who you're voting for, right?
Exactly. They brag about these numbers, the TikTok followers. Well, guess what, guys? We go into the ballot boxes stronger than ever. Them TikTok followers don't mean nothing. And what they say, 61% of them are bots.
Yeah.
He just thought he would get a lot of hate comments and we would help pay them legal fees. Well, us smart people ain't going to make no negative comments on there to help pay his legal fees like you MAGA cult people are doing.
You're right. You are so right, my friend. Oh my God. Listen, thank you so much for having the courage to come up here and tell the truth. All right. I really
Zeus.
do mean that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
I follow you around a lot, so keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing great because they're getting mad. So keep speaking the truth. And Kingdom, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next round.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Goats Are Us. No lies detected. All right, you see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is what we call a show of force. These folks get out here and they lie. All right. So Goats Are Us, Snuggles.
Hello. How you doing, friend?
I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah. So what did you want to talk to Zeus about? You've been trying to get in my box for like 2 weeks.
I was just listening to Goat. I don't know if I'm going to buy his sticks. I thought we're waiting to appeal.
Right. You keep moving it, but you got the money, right?
Right, I got you your soul food. Please tell everybody I did get you your soul food for
Yeah,
the.
you did. You did. Yes, you did. You did send me the money for that soul food, and I will
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, we had a bet about Donald Trump being convicted, and Snuggles lost. And so, Snuggles, along those lines, you said you were also going to apologize, right, for lying
Yes,
about that. So let's get
yes.
to the apology.
I am very sorry that that happened. Of course, we're waiting for an appeal, but I am so sorry that that I had lost to that bet. But I was wondering, I do have some questions.
That's close.
I was
All
just
right, what do
wondering.
you?
I
That
got a
made me feel a
question
little
for you.
better. I've
I got
never
a
heard him
question.
say sorry in my
I'm
life.
sorry to the crowd. I'm very sorry. I'm very sad and depressed. But yet, on the appeal process, you guys will be saying sorry to me. I hope. Will you be saying sorry to me if the appeal is overturned, please?
You know what? If
I did.
if
I
the
did.
appeal is
We're all
overturned,
good.
I'll think about it. But let me say this because I got
Yes.
so many bets going on with you.
Right.
Don't you think it's time to actually get started focusing on the sentencing as opposed to the appeal?
We'll see about that. I don't think he's going to be sentenced. But we'll
Mm.
see. We'll see.
Mm.
Are we going to make a bet on this sentencing?
No, Snuggles. You're
If he
already in the
does go,
red.
I mean, just a little another little soul food bet.
No, because
Why?
because I hate taking candy from a baby.
I mean,
It's easy.
a lot of your fans here think he's going to be in the
Miss
clinker.
Floor. Well, we know that he deserves to be put into jail, right?
Right.
Are you one of these folks that do you still think it wasn't a fair trial, or are you ready to just kind of say, you know what, he's a criminal?
Well, I don't want you to hang up on me because I wanted to ask you a question first.
What's the question?
I was wondering. I mean, we lost women's right now because of what Trump did. Why didn't Biden fix that?
Well, you see, we're trying to fix it, right?
I mean, but he's the president of the United States, and you guys are blaming Trump. Why haven't you done anything for 4 years?
I'll say this: why did Trump break it? Why did he break it?
Yeah, but why didn't Biden fix it? He's the current president today.
Right.
And now, why is Biden fixing the border now after 4 years?
So you want Biden to fix something Trump
Yes, he's the
broke?
president of the United States.
Well, wait a second. Let
You
me
guys
get you
talk a lot, but you're not doing anything.
Snuggles.
What?
You want
These are
President,
facts.
you want President Biden to fix
Yes,
something.
he's the leader of America right now.
But
Yes.
Donald Trump said he already fixed it. He's taking credit.
No, but he's done as president right now. So why didn't Biden fix it? You have no women's rights right now. So what are you complaining about? These women, everybody's complaining. We got no right. Or Trump will come in and we won't have rights.
Okay,
we don't
so
have rights today.
What does it take to fix it? It would take a bipartisan solution. Do you think Republicans are really trying to work right now to fix it? We see what they're actively doing.
Well,
They're actively trying to take away
Right.
women's rights.
You're exactly right on that. The Republicans.
Okay, so that's why he can't fix
hold on.
it.
The
That's
Republicans,
exactly why he can't
right,
fix
the
it,
Republicans
Snuggles.
couldn't vote on the Republicans couldn't vote on the border bill, but yet, Biden can do an executive order, right? So he lied to America. You guys are liars.
Okay, ladies
Liars
and
to
gentlemen.
America.
Goodbye, Snuggles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Snuggles what he deserves. A round of booze and shame. Waste of time. Waste of time.
Struggle bubbles, struggle pancakes, struggle honey buns, struggle in the way. Yeah, he's a struggler.
Silence! You NACA demon!
He's a struggler. He's apologizing and he's still trying to hold on to that little bit of hope. Snuggles, your time is up. Time to move on to the next panelist, all right? You know, we don't got much time to play these games with these MAGA demons, all right? Good morning, my good friend, the beautiful Tiffany for the people. Nice to see you. Hey, how are you doing? I'm so sorry to subject you to struggles, all right?
I had
Struggler.
I had to follow him, really.
I know. I'm so sorry to
No.
subject you to that, but he owed me some steaks and that apology, and I had to squeeze it out of him, and I squeezed it, and I feel kind of bad because that money, that's the money he's supposed to pay his mom to pay the cable bill that I took.
Right, because you know he owes her rent for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning. Happy Friday, Kingdom.
Happy Friday. Oh my God.
My job is officially wrapped. School's over. Out of the job right now, but fingers crossed I'll officially get hired for the fall.
Mhm.
But anyway.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Guy. Thanks, Zeus. So happy to see everybody. And okay, do you see the minion? The minion is giving.
Yeah. I love the minion.
So
Jess did that one too.
Yep. So Jess is killing it with the minions. She got the Magateers in the wine glass, and she got the fruit tank top on the box of wine, which is like
And the Zeus logo, I see it. Oh, is that a smartphone
logo.
in your hand? Are you got a smartphone?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, Jess, you're really good at this, Jess.
She's really good. So support Jess because she's great at doing these little things.
Happy Pride Month, yes.
It's giving superhero Tiffany for the people with the green leggings. Okay, anyway, Zeus, you saw what I tagged you in the other day.
Correct.
About what I tagged you in about when I was in my own live. And I just find these people to be so strange.
Yeah.
They criticize Biden's age.
Right.
He's only 3 years older than Trump.
He's 3 years older than Trump, and I would say 10 times smarter. It's not even a comparison. Biden could outdo Trump even on his worst day. Even if Biden was sleeping, he's still getting more done than Trump ever could.
Exactly. And I just find it really strange that they worry more about Biden's age. That's like the hyper focus. And so then when I asked this person, I don't know if it was the same video, I said, so you're more worried about Biden's age than you are about the person that you're supporting being a convicted felon.
And what did they say?
Oh, it was a lot of silence.
They basically said, I would rather have someone that I know breaks the law and commits heinous acts of violence and commits crimes than to have somebody sane like Joe Biden. Oh, look at you. Look, oh my God, face reveal. Get him, man.
Exactly. It's strange to me that is something that they're going to choose over, human rights, right?
Yeah.
So it's just very strange to me. And I wanted to say, I think it was April was talking about it. Okay. Right. And I wanted to mention, do you remember? I think it was 2020. So in Michigan, we had a preview of January 6th at the Capitol in Michigan. Do you remember that?
Gretchen Whitmer, I believe. And they tried to come up there with the weapons and stuff.
At the Capitol in Lansing. So we had a preview of January 6th, and then remember they had a whole plot to literally. I'm on a live, honey, not right now.
Look at no baby.
Okay,
oh my
fine.
God.
Sorry, this is my daughter.
Hello. Okay. Hi. Oh my God, the kid is so cute. Yes, let them know.
So, gosh, that went by fast. But basically, I just want to say that it's very, very. Remember, Trump told Governor Whitmer he called her that woman from Michigan.
Yes.
It just goes to show you how much these MAGA demons, these MAGA men, these incels, these red pillars, how much they hate women. And how Donald Trump thinks that women should be submissive. It's very red pill, very alt-right. It's just odd.
Yeah.
It's really disgusting. And I had a lot of other things to say, but that 3 minutes went by fast.
I know. Well, listen, you got your point out. The MAGA men do not respect their women. As a matter of fact, any woman that's still around these kind of men, do yourselves a favor and get as much distance as you can, because we know you really don't like them.
Exactly. And then the MAGA women, you need to stop voting like your wayward husbands that can't make you climax. Okay, I'll leave it there.
Oh my God. Love you too, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give the beautiful Tiffany a round of applause. No lies detected. Yeah, I was in a live yesterday, and these individuals that profess to be Christians, and it was a man in there with the MAGA demon. One of my good friends came up in the live. All right, and he called her the nasty B word. Right. And you know what the women in the live did when one of those MAGA men called a woman the nasty B word? They did this. They didn't even say a word, which to me means they condone it. They condone that kind of behavior. So no, we know you don't, these MAGA men, we know you don't know how to respect women, and we know you're out there mistreating the women that you are with. All right, and that's why you're suffering the way that you are. That's why you got to try to create laws to kind of make the game in your favor, so you at least have an opportunity with women. All right, and it's being exposed all over this app. Just watch how these Trump supporters behave, ladies and gentlemen, the men and the women. Let's bring up our next panelist. All right, I know I saw my brother out here. I think I did. I thought I saw him. Where is he at? I thought I saw I thought I saw my brother out here, Itchy. Where did Itchy go? I guess Itchy had to run. All right. Well, you know what? We'll bring up another guest. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the support. Thank you for the gifts. All right. Good morning, attacking. Oh, I heard the echo. Good morning, attacking. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live of truth. All right. And what we don't want is folks getting in this box spreading evil, hatred, bigotry, misogyny, and racism. If you're still struggling with those things, sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast. Good morning,
You got me
attack.
good. You got me good.
Yes, sir. I got you good.
Well, you know what? I feel a little bit sappy today.
Go ahead. What are you going to be sappy
Listen,
about?
watching Joe Biden in France, where a certain other president didn't go because he didn't want to
TJ, I
get his
see.
hair wet.
Right.
So I'm gonna do a Takesha.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. So there comes a time that we heed a certain call, that the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We are the world. We are the children. Guys, we gotta unite, man.
Good job,
We
attacking. Good job. I thought you just can't tease me like that, though. You just can't
we
tease me like that,
we
brother.
gotta unite. This one man has divided us. He has made everybody hate everybody. He has made people decide to, I don't like you because you're black, white, red, blue, green, gay, straight, whatever it might be, over one man. One man for your term who doesn't give a damn about you or I.
Tell
And
him.
I feel sappy watching President Biden in France, where Trump could have been a president for all if he would have just went there and done what President Biden did. But because he doesn't want to drive 3 hours or 2 hours, because he can't take the helicopter there of so-called rain, and he's too much of a, I can't drive 2 hours, I'm too great, to be with other leaders of our country or other countries. That's not a good representation for the world to see. Between Donald Trump and between Biden, we don't have groups of leaders laughing at Joe Biden. You don't have that. You had that with Trump. You have people in NATO worried that if Trump becomes president again, what's going to happen to their country? This is not a game. Donald Trump has committed the crimes right in front of our eyes, and he needs to be held accountable. No ifs, ands, or buts. There is no special attack on Trump. Joe Biden says that he's not going to pardon Hunter Biden if he gets convicted. Trump has pardoned everybody that he has dealt with who did things for him. Paul Manafort.
Tell him, attacking.
Michael Flynn, Papadopoulos. He's pardoned everybody. Everybody that has gone to jail or done something for Trump has been pardoned. Is that really the type of guy you want in as president, that will get his people to do things for him and then pardon them? You just now had Mark Meadows in Arizona being charged with the elector fraud. You have every person being charged who helped try to overturn the election, and it's not Democrats, guys. They're Republicans, and they worked with Trump one way, shape, or form.
Right.
So let's just stop this. I mean, it's really getting ridiculous. This is an everyday issue that we have to do. You ignore facts, we put the facts forward, you lie about Joe Biden. You don't have any facts about Joe Biden. You call us stupid. You call us sheep, but you don't have any facts about anything that Joe Biden does.
Tell them.
So we gotta stop this, guys.
Tell
We
them.
really do.
Tell them,
And
attacking.
and that song, I mean, it's so apropos. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop.
All right. All
Everybody
right.
be good and everybody be safe.
All right. All right. Another honest American, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to brother attacking. No lies detected. Yeah. I believe we do need to be able to come together attacking, and this is just my opinion. Unfortunately, until Donald Trump is out of the way, all right, this is going to continue to keep happening. Donald Trump really does need to be delivered spiritually. Right now, he's in spiritual bondage. He's got the strong demon in him, and he needs to really repent and get and if you want to go to that route, right, he really does need to repent truly and atone for his crimes and his sins. It's never too late, all right, as long as you can breathe. But as long as he continues to have that pride, he will continue to be a danger to himself and millions of people in this country. He really needs to he really does need to step aside and deal with this legal situation that he's openly acknowledged is causing harm to his family. In the interview, he talked about, this is on Dr. Phil, and I wish Dr. Phil would have had me there. He said this has been really difficult on his family, his community. And I said, what kind of man would honestly let this hurt his family? At some point, you got to man up and say, you know what? I don't want no more harm to my children, no more harm to my wife. I will go through this if it protects them. And the fact that he's unwilling to do that shows me if he's not even willing to look out for his family, he sure as heck isn't willing to look out for me or any other American. All right. And this is why I say we can't really get past this until we cut that little link, that connection. It's like an umbilical cord or something between him and his supporters, where they push each other to be dangerous and extreme with no accountability. It's a cycle of abuse, and it will not end until we sever it. And the only way to sever it is for Donald Trump, I honestly believe, to number one, not get reelected, and then number two, to deal with the consequences of his crimes. All right. And so with that, I'm moving on to our next panelist. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to try someone that I don't normally get to hear from, and then we'll go back to someone that we hear from. All right. Who do we have next? Who do we have next? Hopefully it connects. All right, hopefully it connects. It says Eric Williams, 2492. Eric, are you there? Eric, it looks like you may have, left. I may have taken too long to get to you, Eric. I'm going to move on to my next panelist. Okay, wait a second. Oh, Takesha, I'm so sorry. I know you want to come back up here and say something real quickly. Is that what?
I just want to add this because I saw a comment. But my son works 5 days a week, sometimes 7, 12 to 16 hours a day.
Okay.
He took off to take his daughter to the doctor. So not every white man is at work and not every black man is unemployed. I just wanted to make that statement. Those
Thank
men
you.
that were in that doctor's office, some of them actually had their work uniforms on. So don't think that every white man that wasn't there was at work and every black man that wasn't working. Thank you.
Bingo.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Zeus.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful Takesha for clearing that up. Because you give them an inch and they try to take a mile. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I hear wait a second. Takesha, are you still there? I can hear you. That's weird. Takesha, I can still hear you. That's so weird. Do y'all still hear Takesha? Oh my gosh, that's weird. TikTok is tripping. Hold on one second. I think that's better. Yeah, it's a glitch. All right, I think we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's glitching. I still was hearing Takesha. Can you hear me? Can you see me, ladies and gentlemen? Now I can't even hit the guest box. Jesus Christ. I can't even hit the guest box. This app is totally cooked. I think we've been cooking for a long time, ladies and okay. We'll do it that way. All right, let's bring up our next panelist. Speaks. All right. Good morning,
Hello,
Tiffany.
Zeus. Good
Hi.
morning. Good morning.
Hey, how are you doing? All
I'm
right. Is this
doing
our
good.
is this our first time doing business?
No, I think this is my third. I was just on a different account.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not following this one. All right. Well, what do you got this morning for us?
Oh my goodness, Zeus. So I saw on the app last night on TikTok that Dr. Phil had a show and I had missed it, so I went on and watched it. I think it was on YouTube.
Right.
And I thought, but I didn't think the process through, no critical thinking involved, because Trump
Right.
would have never agreed to anything unless it was going to go his way. I didn't really
Right.
think. I'm just shocked that he is going that route with this.
Mm.
He's a doctor of psychology. He has a degree in philosophy, and I've watched him for years. He's got one of the longest running shows on TV helping people that have problems. And I've always liked.
Hmm. Uh oh. Did you get a call?
No, it was a low battery signal.
Uh oh. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, I've still got 20%. I got enough time for this. I'm just shocked at the people that are coming up, and we're getting to see who is real and who isn't. And I really did think that Dr. Phil was one of the people that was for helping people.
Yeah.
And I don't see that, because this has got to be one of the biggest issues or topics he's ever faced. And literally, the country is at risk here of a lot. I mean, we could go on, right, for 20 minutes about all the different topics from the 70s to now. His behavior, his cases, what he did in the presidency, his lack of policy. I mean, there's no good thing to bring forward to say he'd be a good candidate. And I just his take on the whole case and what he thought about how he had called on Joe Biden to stop weaponizing the DOJ against Trump. And I was really shocked. I was really shocked at his response to that.
They're still stuck on this narrative that somehow Joe Biden was the reason he was indicted in New York, right?
Right.
But it doesn't speak to all the other indictments, right? That is going on. Obviously, he's been indicted in D.C. He's been indicted in Arizona, Georgia, and he may be indicted in the other states like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. I think it's safer to say that instead of there being a secret meeting where this conspiracy was hatched, that it might be proof. It might be true that really Donald Trump committed these crimes, right?
Right. Right. Listen, Zeus, 26 plus years ago, I had an addiction problem, and I've been clean for a long time.
Thank
And
you. Congratulations on your sobriety.
One of the things that helped me get there was people putting boundaries up and me being held accountable for the first time. It took one time. I got one felony and I got jail time. And that was what made me think, wow, I'm really wasting my time. And I don't, and I needed to dig deeper and if Donald Trump's never held accountable for anything he does, he'll never be able to open the eyes of his understanding to the fact that he has a problem.
Right.
I mean,
that's spot on. That's why, I understand just like you. When you're going through becoming a better person, you end up learning a lot of things about yourself that you were completely unaware of, right?
Absolutely.
And you recognize it's a lifelong commitment to holding yourself accountable. So I think that's big for you to actually share that with all of us out here because
I'm proud of it. I'm a great mom today. I'm productive.
Let's go. Oh my God.
And I have raised really good children and broke a cycle in my family that was going on for a long time. So
Right.
I was just I was a little surprised. I did see really quickly, and then I'll jump down and let other people up. I saw your box is very full. I did catch a little bit of your live, and Zeus, I love your show. I tune in every morning because I like that you drive home a few real important things. I like the fact that
Thank
your
you.
show's always clean. I know you don't, you're a very respectful person. I
Thank you.
see you. I
Thank you.
respect that. And I just one last thing. Dr. Phil did do another interview where he touched on Trump's mental health and the fact that he has a large impulse control problem. So he knows. It's just a little shocking his stance. Maybe it's a money thing. I don't know, but let's keep pushing here. I'm going to do the Women's March. Women March. Let's see.
Let's go.
Women'smarch.com, June 24th. Look for on the internet in your area.
Let's go! Oh my God! Look at that. You're so active out here in the community too. That's amazing. All right.
Let's stick together, women, and make it happen.
All right, and please continue to come back and keep the reminders going. All right, I think it's very important that we keep getting that message out there so people can actually participate in things like that. All right, because we know Donald Trump and his party are trying to take away women's rights. All right.
Yep. Thank you so much for your platform. Thank you for what you do.
All
And
right,
have
and
a
thank
good
you.
rest of your day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Tiffany Speaks. I mean, this is what it's all about, right? Taking accountability. And if millions of Americans all across this country have had to go through that same exercise and it translates into them being better people, why should we rob Donald Trump of that opportunity, MAGA? Do America a favor, MAGA. Sever the tie between you and Donald Trump and send him on his way. Let him deal with that criminal case he got, and then after that, deal with the other ones. Tell him to focus on his family. America doesn't need him anymore. We've gotten this under control without him. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. You know we got to bring up the crowd favorites, the beautiful Shay. How are you doing, Shay?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, another day in the kingdom. Delivering the truth despite how they feel about it, right? How are
I
you?
know they're really up in their feels as usual. I just find it funny. If you get zapped by, you stick your finger in a light socket and you pull it back and you go, wow, that didn't. Do you stick your finger in that socket over and over, or do you learn not to stick your finger in that socket, right? So that's how I equate these MAGA demons in your chat every day. Vilely reacting to what you're saying. Gotta make comments to just sticking their finger in the socket over and over. Either they're either sadistic or they're just dumb or a glutton for punishment or let's do this, radically upset and mad as hell. Right?
Bingo. That part.
I think that's the one I'm going with. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, but I also think there's a certain amount of them that are curious about how a lot of us understand what's going on in the country. Because low key, they know Fox News has been lying to them, and all their research that they've been doing, they know low key that that's not what it is. So they come in here and we're blowing their minds with how well versed, a lot of us are about what's happening. That's my thought, at least. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So here's the thing, MAGA, that you guys are being fooled to think. With 272,000 jobs reported, right? I know. Sorry, I need to.
No. I'm just trying it because I don't normally.
Yeah,
do
to
this.
see if it'll fit. Yeah.
That's what she said. All right, keep it clean.
Hey.
All right.
But yeah, so there it is. That's perfect. So
but we can't see it.
Well, sort of. I mean, they can. So
okay.
you see the red, right? You see the red. Yeah. You see the levels. Those are Trump's 4 years. The level of job creation he had. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden is absolutely surpassed every single year of Trump's job creation.
Tell him, Shay.
It's clear as a bell that stop it attacking. It's clear as a bell that Democrats create jobs. They absolutely do because they work hard for the people. They support in labor unions. They're constantly passing legislation that help Americans build and do jobs and things like that. So, I mean, this idea, grocery store prices are finally dropping.
Right.
So a lot of this is really catching up. And I know y'all think, of course it is, because it's in time for an election. No. If you read economy or can understand economy, you'll understand why this is happening.
Right,
It takes a while to recover. So, yeah, so I just wanted to cover that. Did you see Zelensky's exchange with that veteran?
I did.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah, the rest of the world understands America and our role in terms of fighting for democracy, and Zelensky did an excellent job honoring one of the veterans. And it's sad because in a way it's sad because it's like he's more presidential for the United States than Donald Trump is.
Oh, absolutely. If y'all have not seen the exchange between Zelensky and a World War II veteran, please go see it. The guy tries to kiss his hand, and he's like, no, and he gives him a hug. And the veteran was like, thank you so much. You're saving your people. And he was just an emotional. He said, yeah, it was a real tearjerker. And Zelensky looks at him and goes, but you saved Europe, sir. Like, it was just such a beautiful exchange. Like, absolutely awesome. So I highly recommend you do that. Also, that stupid video of Biden, I have it, but I don't want to take it.
Oh, the way he was
Of
sitting.
him sitting. And the thing is he was starting to sit, then he realized the speech wasn't over.
Yeah.
Well, then he's like, so if you see the whole thing, you can tell he's like, oh, shoot, I shouldn't be sitting right now. So he stops and kind of stands back up. Then he thinks the speech is about to be over, so he starts to sit again. So he was just waiting out of respect for the person that was giving a speech to sit down. So that's all that is. If you watch the whole tape, that's what it is. But
Right.
it's just
But they
so
always
sad.
try to make it look like it's something it's not, right? Isn't that funny how
Always.
MAGA does that?
Always. They always have to edit it to make him look slow or senile, or he's shaking hands with nobody, doesn't know what direction he's going off the stage, and all of that. But one thing that you guys need to know that is being edited heavily is the interview with Sean, what's his name?
Sean Hannity?
John Hannity and his Dr. Phil. If you watch that interview with Dr. Phil and Hannity, you see the clipping.
The cuts, and then they try to make it.
cuts.
Yeah.
It is so highly edited, y'all. So I can't wait for the debates because it can't be edited. So you can see the absolute aphasia that's going on in Trump's brain. He's absolutely losing it. He can't stay on
Because
task.
Hannity had to say, stay on topic, something like that, right? Didn't he have to say that to him? Like, listen, bro, I'm not talking about all that. Just stay on topic.
Stay on topic. Like, he's really trying to help him. But anyway, that's it. We won't take y'all's time. But yeah, way to go, Joe Biden. 272,000 new jobs in May. It was beyond people's expectations.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's give it up to the beautiful Shay. All right, listen, we're rounding the corner. Oh, my good friend, the beautiful Ann. Hi, Ann. How are you doing?
Okay, it's been a whirlwind of a week. My daughter graduated 8th grade, and then, as you know, we had a funeral to attend for my uncle.
Oh, my God. So sorry.
Thank you. He was a Marine combat veteran with a Purple Heart, so it was full military honors. Nobody wants to be at a funeral, but that one was beautiful.
Yes.
It absolutely was. I want to go to this Dr. Phil thing. I didn't watch it because I don't watch Dr. Phil because he's a POS, and I've known this a long time because back about 4 years ago, right when COVID hit,
right,
he compared the unalivings of COVID to children drowning or being in car accidents. He was saying, yes, he was basically saying it wasn't a big deal and that kids unalive more by car accidents or drownings.
What?
So, yes, back 4 years ago, he said this.
Wow.
So I knew for 4 years that
he was a POS.
the POS, and then most likely a Trump supporter. Um, yeah, so I wasn't surprised. Like I said, I didn't watch it. You know what, too? I also got this was back when I was on Facebook. I got a timeout because I said Dr. Phil is a bald headed POS.
Wow, and Facebook, and they censored your freedom of speech.
They did. They did. They put me in FaceTime. So I haven't been back. So again,
Nasty.
I didn't watch it. I don't know what he said. He's clearly a Trump supporter. Don't let the guy fool you whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come up here real quick and say that because I've seen a lot of comments where they, oh, I was so surprised. I had no idea. Blah, blah. If you go back 4 years ago and watch an interview, he said, that children die more of, whatever, of car accidents and drownings than they do of COVID. So,
wow. So falling in line with Donald Trump's lies
yes.
and subjecting millions and millions of Americans to this nasty thing. All right. This is what I'm talking about, MAGA. You got to wake up and get out of this cult. Okay? Because when they just start saying things to you that sound good, that's a cause for concern. Because most adults know if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Isn't that right, Ange?
Absolutely. And one last thing I have to say. As a
for it.
person who did actually have a person following me around the app, threatening me, unaliving threats to myself and to my family, what I do is I stay away from that person. If I see that person isn't alive, I leave the live. If I see them come in, whatnot. So I don't understand how you can say you're afraid and being threatened by somebody, but still go into that person's live, still attend those lives that person is in, and straight up invite them up into the live. So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, you maybe aren't that afraid or fearful of your life. Because if you were, you wouldn't be following them around. You wouldn't have them up
trying to get coffee, right? You know how they do.
Yeah, something like that. I wasn't going to say names, but I was pretty disgusted, Zeus, that they made you out to be somebody to be afraid of. Because if you're afraid, they'd stay the hell away from you.
Tell them, Ange. Tell them, Ange.
That's it. Bottom line.
Well, thank you for having my back as always and telling the truth.
I always do.
All right. All right. Listen, no lies detected. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up. Are you going live today, Ange?
Oh, hold on. I was about to leave. I went live this morning briefly for just an hour, kind of working my way back in. It's been a long week, but my kids are out of school, so I can get on a schedule. Most likely, I will be Monday through Friday around 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, we all know where I will go after that. We will come to Zeus's live.
Let's go! All righty then. Well, listen, welcome back home, and looking forward to seeing you out here in these TikTok streets. All right. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry, but I do got to wrap this up. I didn't know we would have to go into overtime and then overtime of overtime, but we must wrap this show up. All right. Before we do, you all deserve a round of applause. I didn't get to you today. Don't worry. I'll try to get you next time. All right. Because I really do welcome all of the conversations. All right. So now that the plane has officially landed, I want to give a thank you once again to all the moderators, to all the gifters and the subscribers. You've all, and the panelists, you've all done an outstanding job helping to keep this show exciting, engaging, and entertaining. I really do appreciate it. All right. And I love you all. But you know, there's one last thing we got to do before we wrap it up. We got to give the final round of booze and shame. And you know why we're doing this. This goes out to all of the Zeus haters out there. You know exactly who they are. They're not just my haters. They're your haters too. These people sit on TikTok religiously. Day in and day out. They should be taking care of their families, taking care of their marriages, but instead they're on TikTok spreading misinformation and disinformation on behalf of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. These folks are the worst. They promote evil, hatred, misogyny, bigotry, racism, all right? And all other forms of corruption and crimes on behalf of their cult leader, Donald Trump. These people are the worst of the worst. They are the scum of the earth. Let's give them what they deserve. Our final round of booze and shame. And my hammer is still strong.
Silence! You never demon!
I'm going to say this one last time. To those who continue to portray themselves as victims of Zeus, stay the heck away from me. Don't send me an invite if we go into a live together. I don't need to talk to folks like you. You're dangerous. Number one. Number two, don't tell me I can't record you. But then I go onto your page and you got all of these recordings of Zeus and then threaten legal action against Zeus. Because trust me, if we do got to do that, you will lose. I'm an artist, you're not. All right? And so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's move it on and wrap this show up. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. And to you liars, may you rest in hell.
Whose oldest, most handsome in the kingdom?
Yeah. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe. And stay on your side of the street. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you. Nathan's mom. How's your vacation going? Hey, Jackie. Silence, Craig. Craig, be quiet. No one listens to you. Big E classified, my brother. Yeah, whatever concern it be. You know I'm telling the truth. You all have a great weekend. All right, I hope you enjoyed the show. I will be back Monday, same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. But to you liars, you're not Christians, you're hypocrites. Right, Cole as the days. Jeff, I love you all. Callie Love, I love you. Jennifer, Daisy, let's go. You're not Christians, you're hypocrites. You're not patriots, you're traitors. Right, Queen Flea, thank you all. Black Cade, Rottweiler, I see you. Ellen, let's go. And Craig, be quiet. You've been misled and it's time to get it right. Alright, Craig? I'm praying that you actually make it out of this cult alive. Alright, Tiffany for the people. This is Silk, I see ya. DJ Kitty Cat, what, you got a new logo? Okay. I like that with the pink. Hey, 912 limits. Slick as Rick, TikTok rocker. Yeah, Jackie, Tinker Bale, you ain't gotta lie, Craig. You ain't gotta lie. Miss Bees, I love you too. Alright, let's go. T-Bell, hit him with the music. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. You are all doing an excellent job holding these folks accountable. Alright, I love you too. Alright, Miley Cyrus, I really do. I love you, Grant B. Yeah, grab your goose. Harry Bernard, thank you so much. Isaiah Henson, alright, thank you for the subscription. Thank you, Harry. You didn't have to, but you did. Too Sweet 9. Mary Francisco, let's go. Don't let them intimidate you. Keep giving them the truth. Let's go. And hey, wow. Hey, Jenna. All right, thank you so much, Poetivity. I see you. All right, Aaron, thank you for the flowers, everyone. Poetivity, let's go. Here we go.
I just want to buy
Reggie.
11,700.
Damn, Garvey.
Love. There's one more than we have.
Cold as the days. Venus Hearn. All right. You know what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen. Linda Fox, thank you. Let's hit them with the Jack Smith remix, ladies and gentlemen. Reggie! Hit them with it.
He's deranged.
He's deranged. Nathan's mom. Harry Bernard, let's go. He's deranged. He's deranged.
Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith is me. He's deranged. Jack Smith. Donald Trump is indicted and they take one charge and they turn it into 36 charges.
Harry Bernard, all right.
And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
All right, I guess we are. Oh my God, Coop, thank you for the vacation. All right, let's hit him with the Jack Smith remix. Let's
Jack Smith. He's a Trump hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family's a Trump hater. They all hate Trump. They hate him with a passion. They'll do anything they can to hurt Trump. But he's a harasser and an abuser. Jack Smith.
Let's go.
He's a Trump hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family's a Trump hater. They all hate Trump.
Let's go.
They hate him with a passion. They'll do anything they
Thank
can.
you, Harry Bernard. Let's go.
But he's a harasser and an abuser.
Oh.
Deranged Jack Smith. And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more.
Hey, cool. Let's go, man. Hey, Jack Smith. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Harry Bernard. Let's go.
And he's a abuser.
Let's go, let's go.
And he's a big Trump hater.
Openly, he's a Trump hater.
And his wife
Let's get him, Jack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. But before we do, you know what we got to do? We got to drop that bomb.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's right. You ain't black. You ain't nothing but a modern day slave. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. Stay safe. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do out here in the